really around this time last year, this is when Mark Zuckerberg made that announcement, pivoting kind of away from Facebook. We're going to now call this Meta. So, and he called the Metaverse the next frontier back then a year ago. So how many, like, what is the progress we've made, or not we, they've made in the Metaverse from then to now?
I think you can kind of divide it in two parts, right? The technology and then the visuals. The visuals is something that has been criticized specifically with Meta's Horizon Worlds a ton. You see a lot of coverage on it, you know, reports of insiders at Facebook saying, like, we don't even want to be here. We don't like to use it. The big news at this Connect conference, which is kind of their, like, yearly conference, they call their, like, you know, the big speech that Mark Zuckerberg gives, their State of the Union. So it's a big deal that they announce, you know, new designs. Avatars were finally getting legs. That was the big, you know, news. Turns out that they didn't. The designs that they showed weren't actually legs. They were, like, designed on top of it. So from that visual standpoint, I think there's still a lot to do. And again, like gaming experts say, you have to get that, like, visuals boiled down so that people want to join in. Think of video games, right? We're at an age where if your video game looks ugly, you're not going to want to play it. Like, it's not engaging.
Because there's things already on the market that are so advanced, you'd rather play those.
Exactly, right? You need to find something new that will convince people to say, like, hey, this is important, this is why you should be here. So that's on the visual side. On the technology side, I mean, they're clearly putting a lot of money into it, as, you know, the billion-dollar losses show. And I think what's interesting is that they see the metaverse more as a like augmented reality and virtual reality basis. So they're really putting a lot of money into these, like, Quest headsets. That is a little different from what other metaverse companies are using. You see, I will point back to, like, Decentraland and Sandbox, the top leading two blockchain metaverses, who are more focused on web applications. So, like, you can log in through a regular computer, through your website, and you'll be able to join this blockchain-based game. So they're, I think, focusing and differentiating themselves more on that, you know, I'm standing here, what can I put on? What kind of headwear, whether that be, you know, a full-on headset or a set of glasses, can I use? And that has had a lot of development, you know, more games, more applications. Sales have been iffy. You know, that's a lot of the losses that Reality Labs has occurred. You know, the company attributes it to a decrease in headset sales. And we see a peak at the end of Q4 last year. There's one expected now because of Christmas sales. And so we'll see. I think there's definitely done some steps.
Yeah.
Not necessarily in what metaverse enthusiasts, you know, within the Web3 community would want to see, because it's more on these, like, tangential physical applications. But there's definitely been, you know, it's been a year. They have to have done something.
Yeah. Of course. And it sounds like they have made strides, but they have a long way to go. And that, paired with the billion-dollar losses, do you think Mark Zuckerberg will ever let go of this idea of the metaverse, or will he just keep plowing through?
I don't think so. I mean, he called it, you know, some of the more historic work they're doing. I think something very, very drastic would have to happen for him to actually change his mind. And even then, I think he would just maybe put the brakes and slow down a little bit. But it seems like he really believes on the metaverse, and he really sees, you know, this as a big next step, a new frontier in the history of Facebook, if you want to be that dramatic.
Well, Maria, thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me.